أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.
Fusus al-Iman is a concise format of explanations related to Sahih Iman based on Tafsir Asadi and Irshad al-Asadi. This book series is named Fusus al-Iman, Bezels of Faith, with the intention that it may be used by the people as an anchor of Sahih Iman when sailing in the oceans of knowledge of Quran and Ahadith. For the students of Quran and Ahadith, Fusus al-Iman can act as a primer that will help them solidify their Iman and prepare them for facing the onslaught of deviant sects who misinterpret the Quranic verses and Ahadith to lead them away from Islam. Since Sahih Iman is the essential requirement of salvation in hereafter, it is important to have correct understanding of all issues related to Sahih Iman to become eligible for salvation. This book contains selected verses from the surah. The explanations of these verses will, insha'Allah, benefit all Muslims of the world in protecting their Iman.
لاهية قلوبهم وأسروا النجوى الذين ظلموا هل هذا إلا بشر مثلكم أفتأتون السحر وأنتم تبصرون.
Translation: With their hearts distracted, the evildoers converse to each other secretly. Is this one not human like yourselves? Would you fall for this magic, even though you can clearly see it? Explanation: What is the magic they are talking about? It was Prophet ﷺ's gentle way of explaining Quran to people. Whoever listened to Quran from his mouth and whoever had a chance to meet him used to get attracted to him and realize the authenticity of the message. The lucky ones would accept Islam instantaneously, and the unlucky ones used to get speechless before him. Though the facts were evident to them, still their arrogance would stop them from accepting the truth. They used to think that this is some kind of a magic with which people are getting attracted towards the Prophet ﷺ. With this in view, they used to do a lot of propaganda against the Prophet ﷺ to stop people from meeting him, claiming that he has magical powers.
وقالوا اتخذ الرحمن ولدا سبحانه بل عباد مكرمون.
Translation: They say, the most compassionate Lord has a son. Glory be to him. No, those they claim to be his sons are actually his honored servants. Explanation: The Jews and Christians claim that Allah has son. Some polytheists claim that the angels are the daughters of Almighty. The above verse refutes their evil claims. It is in Quran. The Jews call Uzair alayhi salam a son of Allah, and the Christians call Isa alayhi salam the son of Allah. This is saying from their mouth. In this, they but imitate what the unbelievers of old used to say. Allah's curse be on them, how they are deluded away from the truth. At-Tawbah 30. It is in Quran. Indeed, those who say Allah is the third of the Trinity became unbelievers. There is but one God. If they do not desist in what they say, a painful punishment will afflict those of them that disbelieve. Al-Ma'idah 73.
أولم ير الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون.
Translation: Don't the unbelievers see that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit of creation before we clove them asunder? We made from water every living thing, will they not then believe? Explanation. What is that one unit from which the entire cosmos was created? The one unit referred to in the above verse is Noor-e Muhammadi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is established from Quran and Ahadith that Allah created the Noor of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam first, which is the abstract form of this cosmos, and from his Noor he created this entire cosmos. First, it is in Hadith. It is related that Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, O Apostle of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may my father and mother be sacrificed for you. Tell me the first thing Allah created before all things. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, O Jabir radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, the first thing Allah created was the light of your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from his light, and everything else was created from that light. Part of the Hadith. The above Hadith was narrated by Abdur Razzaq D 211 AH in his Musannaf, according to Khastalani in Al-Mahawib Al-Dunya 1-55, and Zarkhani in his Shar Al-Mawahib 1-56 of the Matba Al-Amira edition, Cairo. There cannot be any doubt as to the reliability of Abdur Razzaq as a narrator. Bukhari took 120 narrations from him, while Muslim took 400. Bayhaqi also narrated the above hadith with a different wording in Dalail an-Nubuwa, according to Zurqani in his Shar al-Mawahib 1-56 of the Matba al-Amira, Cairo. Also, Diyar Bakri narrated it in Tarikh al-Khamis 1-20. The authenticity of the above hadith is also proved from the following Quranic verses and a hadith. Second, it is in Quran. From Allah has come to you a light and a book manifest. Al-Ma'idah 15. The above verse is very clear in describing Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as Noor from Allah. In the exegesis tafsir of the above verse, many well-known ulama have confirmed that the light refers to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. References: A. Suyuti in Tafsir al-Jalalayn. B. Feruzabadi in the Tafsir Ibn Abbas entitled Tanwir al-Mikhbas, page 72. C. Imam Fakhr al-Din al-Razi in his Tafsir al-Kabir 11-189. D. Khadi Baidawi in his Tafsir entitled Anwar at-Tanzil. E. Al-Baghawi, his Tafsir entitled Ma'alim at-Tanzil 2-23. F. Al-Shirbini in his Tafsir entitled Al-Siraj al-Munir, page 360. G. The author of Tafsir Abi Saud 4-36. H. Thanaullah Panipati in his Tafsir al-Mazhari 3-67. I. Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Qadir Siddiqui rahmatullah alayh in his Tafsir al-Siddiqi. J. All ulama-e-Ahl Sunnah in their translations and tafsir. K. Ibn Jarir al-Tabari in his Tafsir Jami al-Bayan 6-92. L. Al-Khazin in his Tafsir 2-28. M. Al-Nasafi in his commentary entitled Tafsir al-Madarik 1-276. And Al-Khasimi in his Mahasin at-Ta'awil 6-1921. And Ahmad al-Sawi in his super commentary on Tafsir al-Jalalayn 1-258. M. Sayyid Mahmud al-Alusi in his commentary entitled Tafsir Ruh al-Ma'ani 6-97. Third, it is in Quran. Believe, therefore, in Allah and His Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam and in the light which we have sent down, and Allah is well acquainted with all that you do. At-Taghabun 8. Some people translate Noor in the verse as Quran. If we translate it this way, it will contradict the verse mentioned at number 2 above. Thus, the meaning of the above verse is Allah commands human beings to believe in Allah, His Apostle Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the light of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which has come down upon humanity in the shape of Hidayah through Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam via Quran Mubin and Siratul Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fourth, it is in Quran. Allah is the light of the heavens and earth. The similitude of His light is as a niche wherein is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is as it were a shining star. This lamp is kindled from a blessed tree, an olive neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil would almost glow forth of itself, though no fire touched it. Light upon light. Allah guides to His light whom He will, and Allah speaks to mankind in allegories, for Allah knows all things. An-Nur 35. Suyuti said in Al-Riyad Al-Aniqa, Ibn Jubair radiyallahu ta'ala anhu and Ka'b al-Ahbar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, what is meant by second light in light upon light is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as it also described in verse 46, Surah Al-Ahzab, because he is the apostle and the expositor and the conveyor from Allah of what is enlightening and manifest. Fifth, it is in Quran, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, truly we have sent you as a witness, a bearer of glad tidings and warner for the entire cosmos, and as one who invites to Allah's grace by His consent, and as a lamp spreading light into the whole cosmos. Al-Ahzab 45-46. The above verse describes Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as lamp spreading light into the whole cosmos. He is also referred as a witness, a bearer of glad tidings and warner to humanity. A witness is the one who knows about all the physical and spiritual aspects of this cosmos. Sixth, it is in Hadith, narrated by Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, when Allah's Apostle ﷺ was asked since how long he is the Prophet, he replied, when Adam a.s. had not yet had his spirit joined to his body. Tirmidhi. It is very difficult for Salafis, Deobandis, Kharijis and their like-minded groups to understand these facts because they focus their attention on the physical body of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and deny the facts of this cosmos which are clearly described in Quran and Hadith. In view of their too much attention on one aspect, they lose sight of the important aspect of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and start equating him with general human beings. Christians did the same mistake. They focused too much attention on the spiritual aspect of Prophet Isa ﷺ and started regarding him as Son of God. Quran and Hadith teach us to balance both these aspects and remain steadfast on the right path of Islam. It is very unfortunate for Kharijis, Salafis, Deobandis and their like-minded groups who consider Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as a normal, sinful human being as anyone else. The problem is that things which are visible to the normal physical eyes are also ignored by them. They do not pay attention to the fact that there is a commonality which is common in two things, but it is the distinction which is the deciding factor of excellence. They should know that between human beings and animals, there are many commonalities. The animals are living beings, they eat and they reproduce their species. These are commonalities between animals and human beings. But the distinction between the two is that the human beings are crowned with common sense, intelligence, therefore they are made masters of the world. They should know that there are many commonalities between believers and non-believers as well. The distinction between the two is the Islamic faith. Because of this distinction, one will go to paradise and the other will burn in hell permanently. Makkan apostates like Abu Jahl and others used to say, what is the difference between him, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and other people of Makkah as he lives a life of a normal human being? It is in Quran. The apostates of Makkah used to say, what is there in this Apostle ﷺ and other people of Makkah as he lives a life of a normal human being? He eats food like us and goes to around the markets like us. Al-Furqan 7. But Sahaba never used to think on these lines and they never compared Prophet Muhammad ﷺ with normal human beings. They looked at Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's life as an absolute miracle of Allah. To them, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has been an unusual phenomenon of Allah's omnipotence. It is in Hadith. Miswar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrate the account of the treaty of Al-Hudaybiyah in which Urwa came to Prophet ﷺ to negotiate its terms and when returned to his people and said, O people, by Allah, I have been to the kings and to Caesar, Khusrau and An-Najashi, yet I have never seen any of them respected by his courtiers as much as Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is respected by his companions. By Allah, if he spat, the spittle would fall in the hand of one of them, Sahaba, who would rub it on his face and skin. If he ordered them, they would carry out his order immediately. If he performed ablution, they would struggle to make the remaining water, and when they spoke, they would lower their voices and would not look at his face constantly out of respect. Bukhari, Book 50, number 891. Ahmad, Tabrani, Ibn Habban, Bahaqi. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's life is a perpetual miracle. How come an apparently unlettered human being could change the course of this world? How could he culminate the teachings of all the prophets and become a stamp on the divine law? Whatever he says, whatever he does is divine law. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ represents humanity in all his actions. He shows happiness on certain things and displeasure on certain things. He shows foreknowledge of certain things and shows his unawareness of certain things. He pleads with Almighty for his forgiveness. He walks on streets like normal human beings. He fights with infidels along with his companions, and sometimes the results of the battles are inconclusive and sometimes he wins. He becomes concerned when something goes wrong with his family members and his companions and share happiness with them on happy occasions. Why it is so? Did you ever think about that? Read this Quranic verse to understand this phenomenon. It is in Quran. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is an exemplary model for all of you. Al-Ahzab 21. He is an icon of humanity and of all creations. Since he is the root of all creations, therefore, whatever form Allah chose for him to manifest, he will show that form's perfection. In other words, he is a perfect human being. Like him, there is none. He represents various facets of humanity at various stages of his life. Sometimes he shows utmost humility of a desperate human being, and on the other occasions, pointing his finger towards the moon splits it into two, which was witnessed by all Quraysh. The miracle is mentioned in the Holy Quran as well. It is in Quran, the hour, the day of resurrection, came near and the moon was split, and if they see any sign, then turn their faces and say this is magic perpetual. Al-Qamar 1-2. It is in Hadith, Bukhari wa Muslim, narrated by Ibn Umar wa Abu Huraira wa Anas radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told his companions, I am not like you. I live with my sustainer, Rabbul Alameen, who feeds and provides me with drink.
إذ قال لأبيه وقومه ما هذه التماثيل التي أنتم لها عاكفون.
Translation. When he questioned the brother of his father and his people, what are these statues to which you are so devoted? Explanation. It is reported that Hadrat Ibrahim a.s. grew up under the guardianship of his uncle Azar, father's brother, because his father Tariq died when he was very young. It is in Hadith, Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that one day Prophet ﷺ stood on the pulpit and informed Sahaba the names of his ancestors. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ana Muhammad ibn Abdullah bin Abdul Muttalib bin Hashim bin Abd Manaf bin Khusai bin Kilab bin Murrah bin Kaab bin Lu'ay bin Ghalib bin Fihr bin Malik bin An-Nadr bin Kinana bin Huzaima bin Mudrika bin Ilyas bin Mudar bin Nizar bin Maad bin Adnan bin Udad bin Ashab bin Saleh bin Saluh bin Hamisa bin Nabad bin Khizar bin Ismail a.s. bin Ibrahim a.s. bin Tariq. Bayhaqi, Hakim, Ahmad, Ibn Khatir in Bidaya wa Nihaya and Ibn Asakir. It is clear from the above hadith that the father of Ibrahim a.s. was Tariq, a Mu'min, while his uncle Azar was an idol worshipper. It is in Quran, O our Lord, grant me protection and my parents and the believers on the day when the reckoning shall come to pass. Ibrahim 41. In the above verse, Ibrahim a.s. is praying for protection for himself, his both parents, who were Mu'mineen, and general believers on the day of judgment. This Quranic verse shows Azar, who was an idol worshipper, was not the father of Ibrahim a.s.
قال بل فعله كبيرهم هذا فاسألوهم إن كانوا ينطقون.
Translation. He said, rather, the biggest idol of them may have done it. Ask them if they can speak. Explanation. Some people wrongly consider that Ibrahim a.s. lied to the idol worshippers. This is not a correct understanding. As a matter of fact, it was a mercy of Allah on the idol worshippers. Their conscience was hit by this action. They were made to realize that the idol worship they were doing was wrong. It is in Quran. And indeed, we had granted Ibrahim a.s. sound judgment early on. For we knew him well, as he was our chosen apostle. Al-Anbiya 51. Prophets are innocent. Allah protects them from any kind of apparent or hidden wrongdoing. Therefore, among their actions and sayings, if something looks not based on facts to the general people, it is actually a wisdom on their part for the greater good of humanity. Prophets do not act on their own. Whatever they do or say is the revelation that comes to them from Allah. It is in Quran. The Prophet ﷺ does not speak out of desire. It is the revelation that is coming to him. It is in Hadith. Qatada reported, I said, Ummul Mu'mineen, tell me about the character of the Apostle of Allah ﷺ. Ummul Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha said, have you not read the Quran? I said, of course. Ummul Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha said, verily, the character of the Prophet of Allah ﷺ was the Quran. Muslim. A hadith is mentioned in some books of ahadith that Ibrahim a.s. told 3 lies during his lifetime. It is in hadith. Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrated that Ibrahim a.s. did not tell a lie except on 3 occasions. Twice for the sake of Allah, when he said, I am sick, and he said, I have not done this, but the big idol has done it. The third was that while Ibrahim a.s. and his wife Sarah a.s. were going on a journey, they passed by the territory of a tyrant. Someone said to the tyrant, this man, Ibrahim a.s. is accompanied by a very charming lady. So he sent for Ibrahim a.s. and asked him about Sarah a.s. saying, who is this lady? Ibrahim a.s. said, she is my sister. Ibrahim a.s. went to Sarah a.s. and said, O Sarah a.s. there are no believers on the surface of the earth except you and I. This man asked me about you, and I have told him that you are my sister, so don't contradict my statement. The tyrant then called Sarah a.s. and when she went to him, he tried to take hold of her with his hand, but his hand got stiff and he was confounded. He asked Sarah a.s. pray to Allah for me, and I shall not harm you. So Sarah a.s. supplicated to Allah to cure him, and he got cured. He tried to take hold of her for the second time, but his hand got more stiffer than before and was more confounded. He again requested Sarah a.s. pray to Allah for me, and I will not harm you. Sarah a.s. supplicated to Allah again, and he became alright. He then called one of his guards who had brought her and said, you have not brought me a human being, but have brought me a devil. The tyrant then gave Hajira a.s. as a girl servant to Sarah a.s. Sarah a.s. came back to Ibrahim a.s. while he was praying. Ibrahim a.s. gesturing with his hand asked, what has happened? She replied, Allah has spoiled the evil plot of the infidel and gave me Hajira a.s. for service. Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu then addressed his listeners saying that Hajira a.s. was your mother. O Bani Ma'is Sama, the Arabs, the descendants of Ismail a.s., the son of Hajira a.s. Bukhari, Muslim and others. It is important to read the following hadith to understand this issue in a proper perspective. It is in hadith. Imam Razi reported a hadith from Imam Abu Hanifa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu in his Tafsir al-Kabir. Someone mentioned before Imam Abu Hanifa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu that it is in this hadith that Ibrahim a.s. said 3 lies. The Imam said no. The narrator of the hadith has told 1 lie. The hadith is also mentioned by Shaykh Muhammad Abdul Qadir Siddiqui rahmatullah alayhi in his Tafsir al-Siddiqi, verse 63, Surah Al-Anbiya. In view of the observation of Imam Azim Abu Hanifa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, the hadith that Ibrahim a.s. said 3 lies is clouded in uncertainty. Let us discuss briefly the 3 statements mentioned in the hadith. First, the first statement of Ibrahim a.s. to his idol-worshipping people was, when they were going out of their town for some festival, he told them that he was not feeling well and he stayed back. It is in Quran, and Ibrahim a.s. said, indeed I am ill. As-Saffar 89. Why did he stay back? It was because he wanted to explain the wrongdoing of his people in a way they can comprehend fully. And when all of them had gone to the festival, he entered the big temple and broke all idols, leaving the biggest idol intact. Second, The second occasion was when they came back and asked him as to who has broken the idols. His reply is described in verse 63, Al-Anbiya. He told them the biggest idol may have done it. Ask them if they can speak. It is obvious that on both these occasions it was the mercy of Allah on the people of Ibrahim a.s. to explain them facts in this manner. Third, the third statement is not mentioned in the Quran. It is mentioned in the Bible that Ibrahim a.s. lied and declared his wife to be his sister. Genesis 12, 13, 18, 19. As per the Bible, this incident took place when Ibrahim a.s. went to Egypt. And according to Bible, the age of Ibrahim a.s. at the time was 75 and Sarah a.s. was 65 years old. In such a scenario, it cannot be that someone informed a tyrant that a youthful, charming woman is accompanied by Ibrahim a.s. and the tyrant calling them to his palace and Ibrahim a.s. stating them that Sarah a.s. was his sister and that Sarah a.s. getting Hajira a.s. as her maid servant from that tyrant. All these are conflicting and contradictory stories.
وَدَاوُودَ وَسُلَيْمَانَ إِذْ يَحْكُمَانِ فِي الْحَرْثِ إِذْ نَفَشَتْ فِيهِ غَنَمُ الْقَوْمِ وَكُنَّا لِحُكْمِهِمْ شَاهِدِينَ.
Translation. And remember Dawood a.s. and Sulaiman a.s. when they gave judgment in the matter of the field into which the sheep of certain people had strayed at night. We did witness their judgment. Explanation. The above verse is related to an incident during the time of Dawood a.s. It so happened that the sheep of a person entered the garden of grapes of another person during the night when the grapes were fully grown and were about to be harvested and caused severe damage to the crop. It is in Hadith. It is narrated on the authority of Ibn Masud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, who said that the grapes which had grown and their bunches were spoiled by the sheep. Dawood a.s. ruled that the owner of the grapes should keep the sheep. Sulaiman a.s. said, "Not like this, O Prophet of Allah." Dawood a.s. said, "How then?" Sulaiman a.s. said, "Give the garden of the grapes to the owner of the sheep and let him tend them until the grapes grow back as they were. And give the sheep to the owner of the grapes garden and let him benefit from them until the grapes have grown back as they were. Then the grapes should be given back to their owner and the sheep should be given back to their owner." Ibn Jarir. There is another incident in which Dawood a.s. and Sulaiman a.s. gave different judgments. It is mentioned in the following hadith. It is in hadith. It is narrated on the authority of Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu that the Apostle of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "There were two women who each had a son. The wolf came and took one of the children. They both claimed that the remaining child belonged to them. Their dispute was referred to Dawood a.s. He ruled that the remaining child belonged to the older woman. They left. Then Sulaiman a.s. called them back and said, "Give me a sword and I will divide him, the child, between the two of you." The younger woman said, "May Allah have mercy on you. He is her child. Do not cut him up." So he ruled that the child belonged to the younger woman. Bukhari, Muslim, Nasai, Ahmad.
فَفَهَّمْنَاهَا سُلَيْمَانَ وَكُلًّا آتَيْنَا حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا وَسَخَّرْنَا مَعَ دَاوُودَ الْجِبَالَ يُسَبِّحْنَ وَالطَّيْرَ وَكُنَّا فَاعِلِينَ.
Translation. We made Sulaiman a.s. understand the case more clearly. We granted each of them sound, wise judgment and knowledge pertaining to the mission and in accordance with the time and conditions of each. And we subdued the mountains as well as birds to glorify us along with Dawood a.s. It is we who do all these things. Explanation. The above verse refers to the beauty of the voice of Dawood a.s. When he recited Zabur, the birds would stop and hover in the air and would repeat after him, and the mountains would respond and echo his words. It is in Hadith. It is narrated by Abu Musa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "O Musa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, you have been given a flute of the people of Dawood alayhi salam." Tirmidhi. It is in Quran. "And we certainly gave Dawood alayhi salam from us bounty. We said, O mountains, repeat our praises with him, and the birds as well. And we made iron soft for him, and commanded, make full coats of male jackets composed of metal rings serving as armor, and calculate precisely the lengths and work, all of you, with righteousness. Indeed, I am seeing what you all do. Sabah 10-11.
ولسليمان الريح عاصفة تجري بأمره إلى الأرض التي باركنا فيها وكنا بكل شيء عالمين.
Translation. And to Sulaiman alayhi salam we subjected the wind blowing at his command towards the land that we had blessed. It is we who have knowledge of everything. Explanation. It is reported that Sulaiman alayhi salam had a massive mat made of wood on which he would place all the requirements of his kingship and command the wind to carry it. The wind then would carry him aloft, shading him and protecting him from the heat until he reached wherever he wanted to go in the land.
فاستجبنا له فكشفنا ما به من ضر وآتيناه أهله ومثلهم معهم رحمة من عندنا وآتيناه أهله ومثلهم معهم رحمة من عندنا وذكرى للعابدين.
Translation. So we listened to him, we removed the distress that was on him, and we restored his people to him, and doubled their number as a grace from ourselves, and a thing for commemoration for all who serve us. Explanation. Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam was the descendant of Prophet Ishaq alayhi salam. He lived in Syria. He was very humble and used to glorify Allah devotedly. Allah had provided him with many bounties, like big house, lands, farms, livestock, servants, and many children. Then Allah tested him. He was stripped of all his wealth and possessions. But it did not matter to Ayyub alayhi salam, as he remained committed to the glorification of Allah. Then Ayyub alayhi salam lost all his children one by one. Then he lost his health, and he was afflicted with a loathsome disease with terrible pain. The disease worsened day by day, to an extent that people of his community abandoned him outside the town, where no one visited him except his wife, who remained with him through all these trials. She worked in the homes of people to make a living and to look after him who was abandoned alone. Even in this condition, Ayyub alayhi salam did not lose heart and remained steadfast in the glorification of Allah. Ayyub alayhi salam remained in this state for about 18 years. Then one day he prayed. And remember Ayyub alayhi salam when he called his Lord, saying, "Hardship has afflicted me, and you are the most merciful of all those who have mercy." Al-Anbiya 83. Allah responded to his supplication and removed all afflictions from him, and he became as sound as he had been previously. His wife was not there at that time. When she returned to him, she did not recognize her husband standing in front of her, hale and hearty. She asked him, "May Allah bless you. Have you seen the Prophet of Allah who was ill here? And by Allah, I have not seen a man more similar to him when he was healthy than you." Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam said, "It is me only." Later Allah returned all his wealth, possessions, and his children.
فاستجبنا له ونجيناه من الغم وكذلك ننجي المؤمنين.
Translation. We answered his prayer and rescued him from the anguish, and so do we save the true believers. Explanation. Prophet Yunus alayhi salam was sent to the people of a town in the present-day Iraq. He called them towards Allah, but they rejected him and persisted in their disbelief for a long time. When he realized that they were adamant in rejecting the faith, he left the town in anger and told them that they will be destroyed within 3 days. Though his people rejected his teachings, they knew that he was honest. When he left the town, they saw dark clouds appear over their heads. They got panicked and ran away from their homes to the desert with their children and cattle and flocks. They separated the mothers from their children and pleaded to Allah for forgiveness. They were forgiven for their previous misdeeds as they repented and believed in what Yunus ﷺ preached them. It is in Quran, then has there not been a single city that believed, so its faith benefited it except the people of Yunus ﷺ. When they believed, we removed from them the punishment of disgrace in worldly life and gave them enjoyment of a time. Yunus 98. After leaving the town, Yunus ﷺ traveled in a ship. During the journey, the ship was caught in a sea storm. The people in the ship got panicked and feared that they could be drowned. As it was custom those days, they would cast lots to identify the person who was the cause of their misfortune. Whoever was identified, they would throw him into the sea for the ship's safety. It so happened that when they cast the lot, the draw went against Yunus ﷺ. It is in Quran, and he, Yunus ﷺ, drew lots and was among the losers. As-Safat 141. Yunus ﷺ stood up, removed his outer garments and threw himself into the sea in the darkness of the night. A large fish appeared on the scene and swallowed him and went deep into the sea. Yunus ﷺ remained alive in the belly of the fish for about an hour or so, and he prayed Allah, seeking His mercy from the darkness of the belly of fish. His prayer was answered. The fish came back to the surface of water and spewed him out on a beach which had thick vegetation. It took some days for Yunus ﷺ on the beach to get fully healed, as his skin was partially burnt. After he recovered, he went back to his town and realized that his nation has been forgiven and they had accepted the faith.
لهم فيها زفير وهم فيها لا يسمعون.
Translation: There will only be groaning for them and they will not hear anything else. Explanation: The above verses 95 to 100 emphasize the fact that if a person dies on disbelief, there is no way that he can come back to the world again and do good deeds. Allah says that it is forbidden for him. He will be raised along with everyone else on the day of resurrection to face the consequence of his deeds and eventually be thrown into hellfire.
لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر وتتلقاهم الملائكة هذا يومكم الذي كنتم توعدون.
Translation: The great horror of that day will not disturb them, the believers, and the angels will greet them, saying, "This is your day, which you have been promised." Explanation: The above verse is a good tiding for the believers. The horrors of the day of judgment will not be a cause of grief for the believers. They will be kept safe from the effects of the horrors. Rather, the angels will greet them, saying that today is the day when you will be rewarded as was promised to you during your lifetime.
وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين.
Translation: We have not sent you, O Prophet ﷺ, but as mercy on all the worlds. Explanation: Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the mercy on all the worlds, the entire cosmos. It is because of him that all worlds are being protected and provided with the required provisions.
صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.